So I'm Kent Johnson, and I'm the founder and director of Morningside Academy in Seattle. And we're a school for general education and mild special needs kids, like kids with ADHD and a little bit of learning disabilities, to come and catch up and get ahead. And so we work with elementary and middle school kids out there, and I'm really passionate about that work. And I really think it's real important that more behavior analysts kind of join in the movement to have a bigger effect on the public schools in America. I love all the fine work we do in developmental disabilities and autism, but there's really a lot of kids who need behavioral analysis too. Good instruction in reading, writing, and math is so essential to reducing dropout rates and creating a better life for just hundreds more kids. So I remember when I was a graduate student talking with Fred Keller, and he told me in this conversation, we were talking about the future and what we ought to want to be focused on, and he said, you know what, I think there's two approaches to providing valuable services in applied behavior analysis. One is to work with the very low performers in the lower percentiles, like this refers to the 10th percentile, and to do the best we can to bring them as close up to the 50th percentile as we can. And the other approach is to take the good old average people in America, kids especially in America, functioning around the 40th percentile, and working with them to get them up into the 80th and 90th percentile. And he said, that's what I chose to do by developing programmed instruction and personalized system of instruction. And it really had a big impact on me. I was more interested in working with people who were not so far behind to create a whole better culture for ourselves that way. So Morningside is geared at that much larger percent of kids. You know, the forgotten 40% of kids in school who kind of toe tap their way through school and don't qualify for real special needs services, but aren't thriving in the public schools either. I call them the forgotten 40%. And that's what I hope more new behavior analysts, younger behavior analysts, can see those other areas where they might make a valuable contribution. Not just the forgotten 40% in education, but what about climate change? And what about health care? These are areas too. I see those as kind of the big three: education, climate change, and health care. I invite all the new behavior analysts to really see new paths in applied behavior analysis in those areas. Into complex studies of complex behavior, human behavior, you know, where we're ready, you know, Skinner cautioned us to stay in basic, simpler research areas to work out the principles. But I think we're more than ready now to get involved in understanding complex human behavior. We have this thing going at Morningside we call contingency adduction. And we teach some skills to kids, and then we do probes to see if they can put them together through our teaching questioning routines and thinking routines, so that they can figure out how to do things with what we've taught them without any direct teaching. So actually, the irony is that the more complex the instructional objective, the more likely it is they can figure out how to do it by themselves. And we focus on the simple stuff and give them opportunities to have those things come together. I think probably people who work in derived relations are also approximately on that same page. It's like, how can we teach things in such a way that people can do other stuff for free without any direct teaching? So I hope that you can look at, make it your business to look at complex human behavior. Say, oh, I'd love to get into general ed, but I don't know much about curriculum and reading and writing and math and social studies and science. I don't really know that area. There aren't any courses available for me to learn that stuff. And so that's a perfect opportunity for you guys to come out to our Summer Institute. Every summer, this will be the 19th summer, we'll have students and professionals of all stripes from all over the world come study with us at our Summer Institute in Seattle.
If you're interested in what Kent has to say, I have read his book, The Morningside Model of Generative Instruction. It is a great resource for anyone interested in education. Make sure you check out the Summer Institute. I get nothing from this. She's just someone that I look up to in the field, and more people need to know about this amazing work in behavior analysis. That's your Daily BA. This video is not brought to you by ABI. Although they allowed me to film indoors, it's brought to you by people like this. Patrons, people that support. There's over 150 of them helping bring this content to you. One of the biggest being Clinical Behavior Analysis in Kentucky. Thank you for helping sponsor this trip. Please, I ask you, check out patreon.com/dailyba. Help me spend more time bringing more content like this to the world at large. That's your Daily BA.